Moreover, Joe Biden has declared an end to U.S.'s support for offensive operations in devastating war in the Yemen. Now, the U.S. will stop all arms sales to Saudi Arabia's war in Yemen, which Biden said has created a humanitarian and strategic catastrophe. Listen in to what he had to say.
This war has to end. And to underscore our commitment, we are ending all American support for offensive operations in the war in Yemen, including relevant arms sales. At the same time, Saudi Arabia faces missile attacks, UAV strikes, and other threats from Iranian-supplied forces in multiple countries. We're going to continue to support and help Saudi Arabia defend its sovereignty and its territorial integrity and its people.
Biden has appointed a U.S. Special Envoy for Yemen, veteran diplomat Timothy Lendeking. Biden said that U.S. would support United Nations efforts to reach a ceasefire and revive peace talks between the government and Houthi rebels. Saudi Arabia has meanwhile reaffirmed support for a comprehensive political solution in Yemen. The statement reads, and I quote, "The kingdom has affirmed its firm position in support of a comprehensive political solution to the Yemeni crisis and welcomes the U.S. emphasis on the importance of supporting diplomatic efforts to resolve the Yemeni crisis." In what the United Nations calls the world's worst humanitarian crisis, 80% of the population in Yemen is surviving on aid. The Houthi rebels control much of the country, including the capital Sana'a. The United States has offered to ensure that humanitarian aid is reaching the Yemeni people who are suffering unendurable devastation. Now, last month, the Biden administration suspended some of the terrorism sanctions imposed on Yemen's Houthi rebels by former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. The Treasury Department exempted certain transactions involving the Houthis group, which was designated as a foreign terrorist organization on January 10th. The exemption will expire on February 26th, and former U.S. President Donald Trump had offered logistical assistance and sales, including of precision-guided bombs. Trump also viewed the war as a way to hit back at the Houthis' ally, that is Iran. Let's quickly listen in to what inputs WION's correspondent Kate Fisher had to share from Washington, D.C.
Yeah, this was one of the few policy specifics that Joe Biden announced in this speech, making it very clear that the US support of that war was going to be over. And as you say, a way and a means to doing that is to stop selling arms to Saudi Arabia. And that is a huge change from, again, Donald Trump's stance on this. He continued very good relations with Saudi Arabia, even despite the allegations that the Saudi royal family were behind the murder of the Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Even with big international incidents like that, Donald Trump continued with his support of Saudi Arabia and what they were doing in Yemen. It is a huge humanitarian disaster. Nearly 250,000 people have died, and Joe Biden believes that the US can help to end this war by stopping giving the arms to the Saudis. Of course, he is going to have a very different relationship with the Middle East from that of Donald Trump. Donald Trump doing things, for example, moving the US embassy in Israel, doing things that previous US presidents would not have considered doing. We didn't get very much detail about the rest of the Middle East in this speech, but certainly it shows from this announcement that the selling of arms to Saudi Arabia is going to end, that it is a very different stance that Joe Biden is taking compared to his predecessor.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.